everyone! Welcome back to Ecopsych EXP, where we dive into the fascinating connections between psychology, ecology, and video games. I'm Casey, and today we're going to talk about something a little unexpected, but very interesting: ecopsychology in Dead by Daylight, and how playing as a survivor in this horror game can have surprising psychological benefits. Now you might be wondering, how could a game about being chased by killers and surviving terrifying situations have anything to do with ecological psychology or mental health in general? That's what we're going to explore today. So buckle up because we're venturing into the fog. Let's start with a quick refresher. What is ecopsychology? Ecopsychology is all about the relationship between humans and the natural world. It explores how our mental health is deeply connected to the environment we live in and how disconnection from nature can contribute to things like anxiety, depression, and stress. Theories suggest that healing the relationship between humans and nature can improve individual and collective well-being. But it doesn't just stop at being outdoors. Ecopsychology also covers our relationship with non-human entities, whether they're animals, trees, or entire ecosystems. And that's where it gets really interesting when we start talking about video games, especially a game like Dead by Daylight. Now, Dead by Daylight might not look like your typical ecopsychology text. It's a multiplayer horror game where you're thrown into deadly situations, desperately trying to escape while avoiding monstrous serial killers. But at its core, this game taps into some deep survival instincts, teamwork dynamics, and even environmental awareness that align with key concepts in ecopsychology. Let's give a quick rundown of the game itself for those who might not be familiar with it. In Dead by Daylight, you play either as one of 4 survivors or as a killer. If you're a survivor, your job is simple: survive. You and your teammates need to repair generators to power the exit gates and escape before the killer finds and sacrifices you. There's an overwhelming sense of fear and tension throughout each match as the killers are constantly hunting you down. Now, this may seem like the last game where you'd find positive psychological effects, but that's where it gets really fascinating. Ecopsychology focuses a lot on our connection to nature and survival instincts, and Dead by Daylight taps into that core part of the human psyche, our primal need to survive. But it also does something else. It creates a virtual environment where teamwork, resilience, and adaptability are crucial, and that's where the potential mental health benefits come in. Let's talk about fear. In ecopsychology, fear isn't always a bad thing. In fact, when managed correctly, fear can be incredibly motivating and can lead to personal growth. Playing as a survivor in Dead by Daylight taps into this primal emotion, pushing you into fight or flight mode, which can actually have some surprising psychological benefits. When you play Dead by Daylight, you're stepping into a virtual space where you can experience fear in a safe, controlled environment. This can help you build emotional resilience and learn how to manage stress. Research has shown that facing fear in this way can help reduce anxiety in real life because it allows you to experience high levels of tension without actual danger. The adrenaline rush you get from escaping a killer is real, and that rush triggers the release of dopamine, which is known as the feel-good neurotransmitter. Over time, this pattern of experiencing fear and successfully navigating it can help train your brain to handle stress more effectively. You're learning to thrive under pressure, which is a critical skill in both the natural and human-made environments. Ecopsychology emphasizes the importance of reconnecting with our primal instincts, those survival drives that often get buried under modern life's routines. Dead by Daylight taps into those ancient instincts, forcing you to stay aware of your environment and assess danger quickly. This game triggers the same kind of responses you'd have in a real-life survival situation, albeit with far fewer consequences. In a strange way, it brings you closer to the raw, primal nature of human existence. You're reconnecting with that instinctual part of yourself, which can be cathartic and incredibly grounding. And grounding is a major concept in ecopsychology. It's about staying present and connected, both to the earth and to our own emotions. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the environmental elements of Dead by Daylight. The game is known for its dark, creepy settings: forests, abandoned buildings, fog-covered towns. These environments aren't just spooky backdrops, they're integral to gameplay. As a survivor, you have to stay hyper-aware of your surroundings. You listen for the heartbeat that indicates the killer is nearby. You look for hiding spots, and you're constantly scanning the environment for clues about where the killer might be. This hyper-awareness mimics something we call ecological perception, the ability to deeply observe and understand your environment. In a way, Dead by Daylight forces you to become more attuned to your virtual environment, which mirrors how being in nature helps improve focus and situational awareness. When you play this game, you're training yourself to be more observant, more adaptive, and more mindful of your surroundings, skills that can translate into real-life environmental awareness. Another key aspect of the game is teamwork. You're not just surviving alone, you're working with other survivors to repair generators and escape together. This collaborative aspect aligns with ecopsychological principles about community and interconnectedness. Just like in nature, survival is often a group effort. Studies in ecopsychology suggest that people feel more empowered when they work together, especially in high-stress situations. The same applies in Dead by Daylight. When you and your teammates succeed, it strengthens the sense of community and collective resilience. Trust and communication are essential in Dead by Daylight. As a survivor, you have to rely on your teammates to help you escape. You can't survive alone, and that builds a deep sense of trust, something that's important in both ecopsychology and mental health. The game forces you to trust others in a way that many real-life situations don't. You have to rely on your teammates to heal you, help you off hooks if you're captured, and complete objectives. That trust building can foster a sense of psychological safety, even in a high-tension environment. What's really interesting is that much of the communication in the game is nonverbal. There's no talking when you're crouched in the tall grass or hiding in a locker. You rely on body language, cues from other survivors' movements and actions. This taps into something deeper, empathy. You have to read your teammates' behavior, understand their intentions, and act accordingly. It's a kind of nonverbal, ecological empathy, where you're tuning yourself not just to the environment, but to the actions of other living beings within it. This mirrors real-world ecopsychology, where nonverbal communication with nature, such as observing animal behavior or weather patterns, helps us understand and adapt to our surroundings. By playing as a survivor in Dead by Daylight, you're honing these empathetic skills, which can have positive effects on your real-life relationships. Of course, in Dead by Daylight, you're not going to win every time. Sometimes the killer catches you and you're sacrificed. But here's the thing, failure in the game is not the end. You can always play again, and that's where resilience comes in. In ecopsychology, resilience is a key trait, learning to recover from setbacks, adapt, and keep moving forward despite difficulties. Dead by Daylight offers a perfect platform to build that resilience. Every time you fail as a survivor, you learn something new about the killer's strategies, about the environment, or about teamwork. This trial and error process mirrors real life, where failure can be one of the greatest teachers. In Dead by Daylight, failure is inevitable. You won't always escape, and that's okay. The game forces you to confront the fear of failure, which can be paralyzing in real life. By failing in a controlled environment where the stakes are low but the emotions are real, you build a kind of emotional resilience that can help in everyday life.
New survivor, Cheryl Mason. Caring and impulsive, Cheryl Mason's dark past allows her to survive through immense hardship, stay in contact with other survivors, and plan objectives.
Become less afraid to take risks because you know that even if you fail, you can try again. This aligns with what psychologists call a growth mindset, the idea that your abilities can improve over time with effort and learning. In Dead by Daylight, each match is a new opportunity to improve. Whether you're getting better at repairing generators, learning how to avoid the killer, or becoming a better team player, each failure contributes to your growth. That mindset can carry over into real-world challenges, fostering a sense of personal development and adaptability. Though Dead by Daylight is primarily a horror game, it's interesting to see how much of its setting is grounded in nature. Many of the maps feature forests, fields, and rural settings. Even the game's fog, a signature element, creates a sense of being immersed in an unpredictable natural world. In ecopsychology, we often talk about nature as having agency, or being a participant in the psychological healing process. In Dead by Daylight, nature is not just a background, it's part of the experience. The tall grass you hide in, the trees you crouch behind, and the wind that howls through the fog are all active elements in your survival. These natural features can be seen as allies in your fight to escape the killer, reflecting the idea that nature can support and nurture us even in the most stressful situations. Playing Dead by Daylight can also serve as a form of virtual grounding. In ecopsychology, grounding refers to the practice of connecting with nature to stabilize emotions and reduce anxiety. While the game may be terrifying, its use of natural settings provides a subtle psychological grounding effect. Even as you're being hunted, you're engaging with virtual representations of forests, fields, and open spaces, which can provide a sense of connection to the natural world, even in a digital format. Let's not forget one of the most important aspects of Dead by Daylight, the community. Whether you're playing with friends or strangers, teamwork is essential to surviving. This social element brings its own set of psychological benefits, particularly when we consider ecopsychology's emphasis on interconnectedness and community well-being. When you play as a survivor, you're constantly working with others to solve problems, repairing generators, healing each other, or distracting the killer so your teammates can escape. This collaboration fosters a sense of teamwork and interdependence. Research in ecopsychology shows that working together towards a common goal, especially in nature-based settings, can strengthen community bonds and promote social well-being. The community aspect of Dead by Daylight can also help build social support networks, which are crucial for mental health. Whether you're playing with real-life friends or building connections with other players online, the game offers opportunities to strengthen your social ties. The sense of camaraderie that comes from surviving together or even failing together create shared experiences that can deepen relationships. Empathy is a huge component of playing as a survivor. You have to understand the needs and emotions of your teammates, especially when they're injured or in danger. This empathy extends beyond the game and can have positive effects on your real-life interactions. Learning to care for others, even in a virtual setting, can build your capacity for compassion, both towards other people and, in an eco-psychological sense, towards the non-human world as well. Finally, let's not forget that Dead by Daylight is a game, and games are meant to be fun. Play is a crucial part of psychological well-being. In ecopsychology, play is seen as a way to reconnect with our childlike sense of wonder and exploration, which is often lost in adulthood. Even in a tense game like Dead by Daylight, there are moments of levity and joy. Whether it's the relief of escaping or the satisfaction of outsmarting the killer, these moments of play release endorphins and reduce stress. Play is also important for maintaining mental flexibility and creativity, which are key components of psychological resilience. While the game is stressful, it's also enjoyable. This balance between stress and fun is what makes it such a compelling experience. You're constantly on edge, but when you succeed, it feels incredibly rewarding. This balance can help train your brain to handle stress in a healthy way, learning to find moments of joy even in high-pressure situations. So, what does all of this mean? How can playing Dead by Daylight, a game about surviving horror, actually benefit your psychological well-being? In many ways, Dead by Daylight taps into fundamental concepts of ecopsychology. It helps us reconnect with our primal survival instincts, fosters a sense of environmental awareness, builds empathy and teamwork, and even offers psychological benefits through fear and resilience training. All of these elements come together in a virtual space that, strangely enough, can promote real-life growth. Whether you're escaping the fog or learning to thrive in the face of fear, Dead by Daylight teaches us that even in the darkest moments, there's always a way forward. And that's a lesson we can all take with us, both in the game and in life. Thank you for watching this journey into ecopsychology and Dead by Daylight. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the psychological benefits of playing as a survivor? And who's your favorite Dead by Daylight character? Until next time, I'm Casey with Ecopsych EXP, reminding you to stay connected both to nature and to each other. See you in the fog.